trajectory, fulfilling his promises to Kenyans. In his scorecard, President William Ruto says his government has demonstrated remarkable resilience and recovery of the economy despite global headwinds, including a post-COVID economic environment, historic drought, rising Federal Reserve interest rates, and a crippling debt crisis. Joash Onsari with that report.
I, William Samoei Ruto.
3 years into the Kenya Kwanza government, President William Ruto administration has received equal share of criticism and praise. In its scorecard, the Kenya Kwanza government says the Kenyan economy has demonstrated remarkable resilience and recovery despite global headwinds, including a post-COVID economic environment, historic drought, rising Federal Reserve interest rates, and a crippling debt crisis. The government says to have recorded an average annual GDP growth rate of 5%, outpacing the global average of 3.3% and the regional average of 3.8%. By May this year, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) projected Kenya's GDP to reach 17 trillion. A trend that has positioned Kenya as the largest economy in East and Central Africa and the 6th largest economy on the African continent. Inflation dropped from 9.6% in October 2022 to 3.8% by May 2025, easing household costs. The Kenyan shilling appreciated from 162 to 129 Kenya shillings against the US dollar, making it one of the world's best performers. The central bank rate fell from 13% to 9.75%, lowering credit costs. Forex reserves rose to 10.8 billion Kenya shillings from 6.5 billion, extending import cover from 2.5 months to 5 months, while treasury bill rates fell from 16% to 8%, reflecting restored market confidence. 7 million Kenyans delisted from CRB, unlocking credit access. Kenya's agriculture sector, that is among the priority sectors in President Ruto's regime, has undergone various transformations, with the government shifting from consumption subsidies to production support across key value chains. The Kenya Kwanza government noting that food production has increased by 50%, improving both rural livelihoods and national food security. 6.6 million farmers have been registered on a digital national registry, ensuring transparency in distribution of farm inputs, reduced fraud and corruption in fertilizer subsidy program. Ruto's government claims to have helped the milk prices rise from 35 shillings in 2022 to 45 shillings a litre in 2024, where dairy exports doubled to 7.2 billion Kenya shillings. Coffee prices rose from 65 shillings in 2022 to between 110 to 150 shillings per kg in 2025. Export earnings growing by 34 billion to 170 billion Kenya shillings. Tea earnings rose from 138 billion Kenya shillings in 2022 to 215 billion in 2024. Green leaf prices rose between 50 Kenya shillings to 60 shillings per kilogram. The maize output rose from 40 million bags in 2022 to 64 million bags in 2024. The government says it's keen in revitalization of cotton, rice and edible oils value chains, plans which are underway. In the education sector, to date, the government has hired 76,000 new teachers, reformed the competency-based curriculum CBC, and renamed it to competency-based education and training, shifted to a student-centered university funding model after resistance from stakeholders, and built 23,000 new classrooms across the country. The government has pledged to recruit 24,000 additional teachers by January 2026, build 1,600 more science labs, and overhaul the mean testing instrument to ensure accurate placement of students into appropriate funding bands.
14.8.
With challenges in realizing universal healthcare coupled with unfulfilled promises, delayed implementation, State House says it is now becoming a reality under the current administration.
The heroes of universal health, the men and women who have made it possible for us to register citizens in SHA, the people who have participated by going to every home and every village in the morning, in the evening, are the CHPs.
The scorecard report highlights that the launch of the Social Health Authority SHA in October 2024 has made progress amidst resistance from a section of Kenyans. According to the Ministry of Health, SHA has registered 24.7 million Kenyans, up from 7 million under the defunct NHIF. Now SHA delivering free primary health care, emergency services, critical and chronic illness care, and insured secondary care. Eligibility shifted from a 3-month wait to instant access. All Kenyans now contribute up to 2.75% of income, replacing an unfair system where the poor paid a highly disproportionate premium, where the coverage now includes self-employed and unemployed Kenyans. In implementing Social Health Authority, for instance, by June 2025, 5.75 million patients have benefited from primary healthcare coverage and SHIF, 2.5 million from SHIF claims, 3.5 million from primary healthcare coverage claims, and 49.2 billion mobilized across SHA and SHIF. The housing plan anchored in President Ruto's agenda is in its implementation phase, with the government targeting to construct over 150,000 units annually across the country.
New Mukuru affordable housing.
In May 2025, President Ruto handed over homes to 1,000 families formerly living in informal settlements, now housed in Mukuru Estate, a model development under the Affordable Housing Program. The Affordable Housing Program is now active in 44 out of 47 counties to deliver 150,000 housing units, and already the program has created over 320,000 jobs in the construction and housing value chain, and the government actualizing the dream of affordable, dignified housing for all despite resistance from various quarters.
Kupitia simu, kupitia mradi huu kutoka shilingi 500 hadi shilingi 50,000.
Tracking the growth of micro, small and medium enterprises, the government says it has championed financial access through the Asla Fund, launched within the first 100 days of the Ruto presidency. Over 25 million Kenyans have accessed loans worth 70 billion Kenya shillings, and the fund has mobilized 4.5 billion in savings. In solving the unemployment crisis among the bulging youth population, the government says 110,000 jobs have been created through Climate Works, a green public works initiative engaging youth in tree planting, road building, and sanitation. 185,000 digital jobs at TVET colleges and Gitume labs, and over 400,000 Kenyans have secured jobs abroad. The government indicates that through the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement program, the government and the World Bank are already identifying entrepreneurs. After an application process, 1,000 young entrepreneurs across the country to provide them with grants of 50,000 Kenya shillings each to expand their businesses. Some 70 young business people will be identified from each of Kenya's 1,450 wards. For nearly 6 decades, State House says Total contribution to the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, amounted to 320 billion. However, since the implementation of the new policy in 2023, which ties contribution to a percentage of gross pay, Kenyans have already contributed 280 billion in just 2 years. By December 2025, the government says this figure is expected to double, reaching 640 billion Kenya shillings. By 2027, total contributions to the NSSF are expected to hit 1 trillion Kenya shillings mark, marking a transformative leap in Kenya's social security savings. President William Ruto's regime has reported the transformation of the digital space, which has accelerated dramatically, positioning the country as a continental leader in digital infrastructure, innovation, and youth empowerment.
Through the money that I've been earning, I've been able to support my mom and even pay some of my school fees.
Joash Onsare, TV 47, Nairobi.